The reason you oppose the bill is not because you have any policy issues with it. It addresses everything that you've been talking about for the last couple of years. Because all I have heard from any of you is noun, verb, border. Noun, verb, border. That's all you know. And then you get a border bill from the second most conservative member of the Senate, and let me tell you why you oppose it. You oppose it because Donald Trump opposes it. That's it. That is the simplest explanation. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is the correct one. Donald Trump opposes it because Donald Trump wants to be president, because Donald Trump has 91 felony counts that he's facing, and the only way that those go away and he is not held accountable is if he's president. And if the noun, verb, border plan is no longer working and he can't use that as an issue, then he may not be president. So he says, I don't support this. I want the issue, not the solution. And so you all, God, I don't know what it feels like to be so helpless to have to follow somebody like Donald Trump. Follow Donald Trump. And it's fine, I get it. You must see yourselves as so very tiny and so very small when you look at Donald Trump, and he's so big that he looms so large over you that you would do anything that he says to support him. But that is the reality. This is not a policy dispute. Donald Trump wants the border issue, and so you're going to go along with Donald Trump. That's it.
That's Democratic Congressmember Eric Swalwell just stating the facts. Democrats were willing to reach a bipartisan solution with one of the most conservative members in the United States Senate who led a bipartisan immigration bill. And Donald Trump then told the MAGAs in the House to kill the bill because Donald Trump said it was a winning issue for him to cause our country pain because Donald Trump thinks that you and I and we're all stupid and that we won't realize that Donald Trump wants to cause chaos so that he and the MAGA Republicans can act as the arsonist who wants to put out the fire that they created. Let me show you this clip. This is Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar from Texas. Here she puts it very, very bluntly. Play the clip.
The Senate bill, again, which was called one of the harshest border bills in history, not by Democrats. It was Republicans who called this Senate border bill the toughest bill on the border ever. One of our colleagues just said that it created amnesty. No, I mean, that's part of why you heard us laughing. No, like it couldn't even be further from the truth. In fact, many Democrats were upset because it offered no legal pathways. It was all enforcement. The other thing that my colleague on the other side of the aisle said was the Senate bill failed because it was bad. They started criticizing it before the text was out, before the text was even published. And they did it because former President Donald Trump told them to. So they followed orders and they were loyalists because Donald Trump said, I want the problem, not a solution. And they said, okay, we're with you. And week after week, we hear lie after lie after lie.
And now let me show you Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Here's what he has to say. Play the clip.
We have a do-nothing Republican Congress that has delivered no meaningful progress for the American people. Instead, it's been chaos and dysfunction and extremism. And that compares to the track record of accomplishment under the leadership of President Biden, a historic Congress in the previous 2 years prior to this Congress starting, where we got things done like clean water in every community, bringing domestic manufacturing jobs back home to the United States of America, lowering the high cost of life-saving prescription drugs, including taking the price of insulin to $35 a month for millions of Americans. It's an extraordinary track record of accomplishment. Now, we can contrast that with the do-nothing Republican Congress and also make clear that moving forward, President Biden has a vision for making life even better for the American people over the next 4 years.
And by the way, you don't have to just listen to Congress members Jeffries, Escobar, and Swalwell. Why don't I play for you a clip of Republican Senator James Lankford from Oklahoma about the immigration bill that got killed? Play the clip.
Speaker says that if one migrant comes across the border, that's one migrant too many, and your bill doesn't do enough to completely shut down the border.
Actually, it does completely shut down the border in many ways.
Or shall I show you another exhibit in this video? Donald Trump saying that he killed it. He killed the bipartisan immigration deal, the bipartisan border deal he killed. Play this clip.
But you give illegal taxpayer-funded lawyers, so they have millions of dollars in this agreement, in this deal, which we, by the way, killed. I think we killed it. I think it's dead. But you can never say it because bad bills always come back to life because these guys make a lot of money with bad bills. But they give millions, tens of millions of dollars, it's down there, to lawyers to represent the illegal immigrants that come into our country. It's not even believable.
Why, oh, why would anybody want to support somebody who talks about killing bipartisan solutions to actually try to solve America's problems? Oh, wait a minute. It's people like MAGA Mike Johnson who go out there and give interviews in the whole MAGA party who talk about Donald Trump's humongous coattails. Play the clip.
How do you bring that split together, and how big are Trump's coattails this year?
Well, his coattails are humongous. I mean, we've already been working with the president. He knows how important it will be when he wins re-election to have a large House majority for the Republican Party, and I believe we can deliver on that. Look,
and it's people like MAGA Mike Johnson who go out there. Remember when the MAGAs and the Republicans, remember when they tried to be all like, Democrats are all about defunding the police. They want to defund. Okay. One, that was never true, at least not at the highest leadership level and people who actually have power in the party. MAGA Republicans quite literally are defunding the police. They're just talking about it. They want to defund the police. Here, play this clip.
we have advanced. And we also advanced, as you've seen the summary, cuts to some of the agencies that we believe are really overreaching and have been turned in some ways against the American people. We're going to cut 3% from DOJ, 7% from the ATF, 6% from the FBI, and 10% from the EPA. And that's just a start. We have a lot more priorities and things that we need to advance, but the reality is, as we all recognize, is that we have to grow the House majority, take back the Senate for the Republican Party, and win the White House. And I'm here to tell you the reason we're optimistic is we believe those things are going to happen in November. We can't wait. That day can't get here soon enough.
And as MAGA Mike Johnson is doing that, you also have Marjorie Taylor Greene giving speeches praising the January 6th insurrectionists. Play the clip.
We need Republicans that will not waver. Here we are. Here's a man sitting next to us that went to jail over our election integrity. This is the day we live in. Every single day on average, there's another person arrested for January 6th. Do you know that? Yes. Every single day, a new person is arrested and charged with all kinds of crimes for either standing on the Capitol grounds or walking through the Capitol on January 6th. Now, going forward, the Democrats...
That is the state, that is the condition of the modern day Republican Party. Although, if you listen to MAGA Mike Johnson, he says that the state of our union as a country is not strong, but he says the state of the Republican Party is very strong. Play this clip.
But of course, the state of the union is not strong. And everybody around the country knows it, and everybody in this room knows it. Look, I would say that the state of the Republican conference is encouraged and strong.
And I guess by that he means that Laura Trump will be diverting all of the money from the RNC to Donald Trump's legal bills. Play the clip of Laura Trump.
We need to make sure that every penny of every dollar donated to the RNC is going to Donald Trump's campaign.
But here's how MAGA Mike Johnson says that the Republican Party is going to deal with the fact that mainstream Republican voters, mainstream conservatives, and suburban women absolutely loathe the revolting thing that has become MAGA. Play the clip.
You know, when it comes to college voters, suburban voters, those non-MAGA voters, like what's the specific strategy to reach out to them in the next few months?
Well, the strategy is to share the truth, to talk about our principles, to talk about our policies. When you talk about...
Well, I'm sure, MAGA Mike Johnson, that suburban women love your very creepy past and creepy present. And when you say things like this, play the clip.
Roe v. Wade gave constitutional cover to the elective killing of unborn children in America, period. You think about the implications of that on the economy. We're all struggling here to cover the bases of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all the rest. If we had all those able-bodied workers in the economy, we wouldn't be going upside down and toppling over like this. Listen,
The gentleman
I will not yield. I will not. Roe was a terrible corruption of America's constitutional jurisprudence.
Well, and here is Donald Trump, the leader of this essentially insurrectionist party now, that is the Republican Party, talking about the new national anthem. Yes, folks, Donald Trump and the Republicans have taken I'm not making this up. They took our national anthem, they butchered it, they changed the words, and they now have it called the J6th anthem, which is a song that Donald Trump has copyrighted with dangerous rioters and insurrectionists. And then at the Trump events, they pledge allegiance to the J6th spirit of the insurrectionists. You're like, oh, Ben, what are you talking about? That's not the case. It is. Play the clip.
They've done to people. You heard the hostages singing. That was the hostages. They're the J6 hostages, I call them, because they are hostages. They're policemen, they're firemen, they're accountants. They're lawyers in some cases. They're put in jail for extended periods of time, for very long periods of time. They're hostages. You heard them singing. You heard the spirit that they had? The spirit is unbelievable. That song became the #1 song. And you can...
Folks, that's the state of the Republican Party. They want the state of our union to look like that. That ain't going to happen. Our democracy is too precious. Our Constitution is too precious. Whether you're a mainstream Republican, not one of these MAGA mutations, an independent, whether you're not affiliated with political parties, whether you're Democrat, liberal, progressive, we need to come together for our democracy, for normalcy. This video, I hope, made that very, very clear. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you so much for watching. Spread the word about the MeidasTouch Network.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.